Yevgeny Prigozhin is a name that has gained significant prominence in recent years, particularly in the realm of international politics and media. His life story is an intriguing blend of ambition, entrepreneurship, and controversy. From his humble beginnings as a small-time businessman in Russia to his rise as a powerful figure within the country's political landscape, Prigozhin's journey is one that captivates both his supporters and detractors alike. Raised in a working-class family, he displayed an early entrepreneurial spirit, starting his first business selling produce from a kiosk. As his ventures expanded, he entered into the catering industry, ultimately establishing the Concord Catering Company. Prigozhin's meticulous attention to detail and his ability to deliver impressive results catapulted his business to new heights of success. Through his network of connections, he forged relationships with influential individuals within the Russian government, which would prove pivotal to his future endeavors. Prigozhin and Russian President Vladimir Putin have been friends for many years. They met in the early 1990s, when Prigozhin was running a restaurant in St. Petersburg. Over the years, Prigozhin has become one of Putin's most trusted associates. He has been awarded a number of government contracts, and he is believed to have played a role in Putin's election campaigns. Prigozhin was sanctioned by the United States for his role in the Russian interference in the 2016 U.S. elections. He was also sanctioned by the European Union in 2018. Despite the sanctions, Prigozhin continues to be active in Russian politics and business. He is a major donor to the United Russia Party, and he is believed to be involved in a number of other businesses, including the arms trade. Prigozhin's ambitions extended beyond the catering industry and into the realm of military operations. He is widely believed to be the mastermind behind the Wagner Group, a private military company composed of ex-military personnel. The Wagner Group has been linked to various activities in conflict zones, including Syria and Ukraine, further fueling the controversies surrounding Prigozhin's business empire. The Wagner Group has garnered attention and intrigue for its involvement in various geopolitical conflicts around the globe. With its origins shrouded in secrecy, this private mercenary group has become a prominent player in modern warfare, operating as a shadowy force behind the scenes. The Wagner Group is registered in Argentina. Russia has a law that prohibits private military companies from operating within the country. By registering in Argentina, the Wagner Group can avoid this law and continue to operate in Russia. The Wagner Group is known for its paramilitary operations, offering its services to various clients, often aligned with Russian interests. Their activities range from combat deployments and intelligence gathering to training and security services. Notably, the group has been linked to engagements in Ukraine, Syria, Libya, and the Central African Republic, among other locations. The Wagner Group's activities have sparked controversies and raised serious concerns among international observers. Accusations of human rights abuses, violations of international law, and the use of mercenaries have plagued the group. Its ambiguous status and lack of transparency have prompted questions regarding accountability and the ethical implications of employing mercenaries in conflicts. While the Wagner Group operates as a private military contractor, its motivations and financial backing are widely believed to be connected to the Russian government. Although the Kremlin has never officially acknowledged its association with the Wagner Group, evidence suggests a close relationship, with the group serving as an instrument for advancing Russian interests and maintaining plausible deniability. The Wagner Group's involvement in conflicts has had significant implications for the geopolitical landscape. It has allowed Russia to exert influence beyond its official military presence, shaping outcomes in various regions. Additionally, the rise of private military contractors like Wagner raises concerns about the blurring lines between state and non-state actors, and the potential erosion of traditional notions of sovereignty and international law. The Wagner Group's involvement in the annexation of Crimea was first revealed in a 2015 report by the Conflict Intelligence Team, a Russian non-profit organization that investigates military conflicts. The report documented the group's activities in Crimea, including the use of unmarked vehicles and uniforms, and the presence of Russian military personnel. The Wagner Group's role in the annexation of Crimea has been confirmed by a number of other sources, including the U.S. Department of Defense and the European Union. The group's involvement in the conflict has been condemned by the Ukrainian government and by international organizations. Their involvement included securing key installations, coordinating with local pro-Russian groups, and supporting the Russian military's actions on the ground. The Wagner Group's paramilitary capabilities and experience were utilized to create a climate of intimidation and destabilization, which facilitated the pro-Russian sentiment in Crimea and furthered the agenda of the Russian government. The Wagner Group's role in the recent Russia-Ukraine war is significant because it shows the extent to which Russia is willing to use force to achieve its goals. The group's activities in Ukraine also highlight the challenges of fighting against a non-state actor that is not bound by the same rules of war as a regular military force. The group has been involved in the fighting in the Donbas region, which is the eastern part of Ukraine. The group has been fighting alongside Russian forces and has been responsible for some of the heaviest fighting in the region. The group has also been accused of carrying out attacks on civilian infrastructure, such as hospitals and schools. They have been accused of mining Ukrainian territory, including the Donbas region and the coastal areas of the Black Sea. The mines have posed a serious threat to Ukrainian civilians and have made it difficult for humanitarian aid to reach those in need. The recent conflict between the Wagner Group and the Russian government is a complex and unfolding situation. On June 23, 2023, Yevgeny Prigozhin, the founder of the Wagner Group, accused the Russian military of bombing his forces in Ukraine and killing thousands of his men. In response, Prigozhin vowed to retaliate against the Russian military leadership and called for a march of justice. The Russian government quickly accused Prigozhin of organizing an armed uprising and launched a criminal investigation against him. Putin also warned that Prigozhin would face severe consequences for his actions. The conflict between the Wagner Group and the Russian government is a sign of the growing rift within the Russian elite over the war in Ukraine. Some Russian officials, including Prigozhin, are reportedly unhappy with the way the war is going and believe that the Russian military is not doing enough to achieve victory. But there are some political theories circulating regarding this recent conflict. The conflict between Russia and Wagner Group is a complex issue with a long history. It is difficult to say definitively whether the conflict is a political gimmick or not. There is evidence to support both sides of the argument. On the one hand, the Wagner Group is a private military company that is not officially affiliated with the Russian government. This suggests that the conflict may be a genuine dispute between two independent actors. Additionally, there have been reports of Wagner Group mercenaries committing human rights abuses in Ukraine, which would suggest that the group is not simply a political tool. This theory also points out that the Wagner Group could eventually turn against Putin. The group is made up of mostly ex-military personnel, and they are known for their loyalty to Putin. However, if they were to feel that Putin was no longer protecting their interests, they could turn against him. This could lead to a coup or other form of internal conflict that could ultimately lead to Putin's downfall. Another theory is that the Wagner Group could be used by the West to destabilize Russia. The group is already under sanctions from the United States and the European Union, and if they were to be further sanctioned, it could lead to their collapse. This could create a power vacuum in Russia that could be exploited by the West. If the Wagner Group were to be used by the West to destabilize Russia, it could lead to a military response from Russia. This could escalate into a wider conflict that could ultimately lead to Putin's end. On the other hand, the Wagner Group is closely linked to Russian President Vladimir Putin. The group's founder, Yevgeny Prigozhin, is a close associate of Putin, and the group has been used to support Russian interests in a number of conflicts around the world. This suggests that the Wagner Group may be a proxy for the Russian government, and that the conflict in Ukraine may be part of a larger political strategy. The Russia-Wagner Group conflict is a complex issue with no easy answers. There is evidence to support both the view that the conflict is a genuine dispute between two independent actors, and the view that the conflict is a political gimmick. However, it is important to note that the Wagner Group is a powerful and well-funded organization, with a history of operating outside the law. This makes it difficult to track and monitor the group's activities, and it increases the risk that the group will commit further human rights abuses. It is also important to note that the issue between Russia and Wagner Group is taking place in the context of the wider conflict in Ukraine. This conflict has already caused a great deal of suffering, and it is important to be aware of the potential for the Wagner Group to further escalate the violence. Of course, these are just theories. It is impossible to say for sure how the Wagner Group conflict will play out, or whether it will ultimately lead to Putin's end. However, it is clear that the conflict is a significant development that could have far-reaching consequences for Russia and the world. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this content, be sure to like this video and subscribe my channel. And don't forget to hit the notification bell to stay updated on my latest videos. Until next time, stay informed.